Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
I am Dr. Mohammed Tanveer from Institute of Advanced Studies in Education, Jamia Millia, Islamia. For this session, our topic is Infancy and Childhood. As you know, newborn growth and development is an amazing process. In this lesson, in the next few minutes, you will learn what reflexes infants or babies are born with. You will discover how babies learn, when they acquire certain abilities, and find out what about common development milestones. So, I welcome you all in this session. After completing this lesson, you should be very well prepared to define reflexes as well as identify the reflexes of newborn baby. Summarize the way newborn learn with their senses. Discuss the developmental milestones of newborn baby. Describe the abilities that newborn infant possesses and how they actively interact with their environment. Newborns are already prepared to face new world they are about to experience. A baby is born with many normal reflexes. A reflex is actually an involuntary action or involuntary response. Some of these reflexes are as simple as yawn, hiccup, quiver, and stretches. Exhibiting these reflexes is a sign of good neurological health. Some reflexes, such as coughing, sneezing, and blinking, are protective in nature. The child will cough to remove irritation from his airway. He will blink to protect his eyes, and he will sneeze to protect his nose. Some newborn reflexes have specific names. Let's examine a few of these now. As you will see in the next few slides, that each of the reflexes provide an ability that will help the child to survive their first few months of life, as they continue to learn new routines to help them survive in and manipulate their environment. Have you ever observed that what happens when a baby cheek is stopped? You will see that the baby turns its head towards talking, opens its mouth and tries to suck. It is called rooting reflex. This reflex ensures that the infant's feeding will be a reflexive habit. In the same way, maybe you have observed that what happens when a light is flashed in the baby's eye. You will see that the baby closes both eyes. It is called blink reflex. This reflex protects eyes from strong and potentially dangerous stimuli. Have you observed that what happens when a soft pinprick is applied to the sole of baby's foot? You will see that the baby flexes his leg. This is called withdrawal reflex. This reflex keeps the exploring infant away from painful stimuli. Have you observed what happens when the baby is laid down on its back? The baby turns its head to one side and extends the arm on the same side. This is called tonic reflex. This reflex helps develop hand and eye coordination. Maybe you have observed that what happens when an object is pressed into the palm of baby. You will see that the baby grasps the object pressed and can even hold its own weight for a brief period of time. This is called grasp reflex. This reflex helps in exploratory learning. Have you observed what happens when loud noise or a sudden drop in height while holding the baby? Maybe you have seen or you have observed that the baby extend arm and leg and quickly bring them in as if trying to grasp something. It is called Moro reflex. This reflex protect from falling would have assisted infant holding on to their mothers during rough traveling time. You have also observed that what happens when the baby is suspended with bare feet just above the surface and is moved forward. You will see that the babies make a stepping motion as if trying to walk. This is called a stepping reflex. This reflex helps encourage motor development. In addition to these reflexes, newborn babies have preferences also. You might be knowing that the newborn baby likes sweet tasting food at first and will become more open to the salty items after 4 months of age only. Newborn also prefer the smell of their mother. An infant only 6 days old is significantly more likely to turn toward its own mother's cloth than of any other cloth. And a newborn also show a preference for the face of his or her mother. How does a newborn learn? The newborn may have a lot of amazing reflexes to help it on its way, but it can learn as well. Learning begins at birth, and a newborn's senses are the main tool it uses for learning. He can see different colors. He can differentiate sounds. He can determine if a blanket feels soft or itchy. As the newborn experiences the world through sensation, his brain rapidly develops. The more sensory input he receives, the more easily connections are made within the brain that differentiate these sensations. The newborn brain is busy taking it all. New skills and information is stored as these connections develops. Watch as the mother interacts with the newborn, the snap her finger and the baby turns his head toward the sound. The newborn looks intently into the mother's face as she talks to him. This may seem like play, but he is paying attention and learning about his surrounding through this interaction only. Play is the main way that the newborn learns to move, socialize, and understand his surrounding. As I told before that, although infants are born ready to engage in some activity, they also contribute to their own development through their own behavior. Let's see some key points from famous researches. The child's knowledge and abilities increase as it babbles, talks, crawls, grasps, play, and interacts with the object in the environment. Parent may help in this process by providing a variety of activities and experience for the child. Children who have opportunities to play and interact with their environment have healthier and better development. Now let's discuss some of the developmental milestones in newborn babies. You may be thinking all about the amazing abilities you witnessed in children. Now you have some more questions in your mind. When should a newborn develop particular skill? What are some developmental milestones for the newborn? To answer this, let's look at some common developmental milestones and when they should occur. A newborn will look intently at the face of those holding him between birth and 4 weeks of age. He will start to lift his head while lying on his stomach between birth and 4 weeks of age as well. He will start to lift his head while lying on his stomach between birth and 4 weeks of age. Between birth and 6 weeks of age, he will turn his head towards sound that he hears. The newborn infant will respond to you with a smile between 3 weeks and 2 months of age. He will be able to hold his head upright while lying on his stomach at somewhat between 5 weeks of age and 3 months of age. Between 6 weeks and 3.5 months of age, he should start to bring his hand together in front of himself. He will hold his head steady while being held upright between 6 weeks and 4 months of age. Laughing and squealing will begin to occur between 6 weeks and 4.5 months of age. He will start to roll over from front to back and back to front between 2 months and 5 months of age. And he will be able to grasp an object placed in his hand at between 2.5 months and 4.5 months of age. These developmental milestones are general guidelines. As you can see that I have given a wide range of age for a particular set of activities. Normal pattern of development differ from one child to the next, and they can vary widely. Since no two child will develop in the same way at the same time, it is only a significant concern if a child misses many developmental milestones or consistently reach them later than is expected than the normal. Now, let's summarize whatever we learned. All of the skill and abilities with which a newborn enters this world are truly amazing. The newborn entered the world with reflexes that help him protect himself and develop neurologically. A reflex is an involuntary action or response. Common examples are coughing, yawning, blinking, or sneezing. Some reflexes have specific names. There is the startle reflex, there is grasp reflex, there is a stepping reflex or automatic walking. There is also rooting reflex, sucking reflex, and swallowing reflexes. The newborn begins to learn from time of birth. His senses are the main tool he will use for learning. His brain develops rapidly as he processes the sensation that he makes in from the world around him. The more sensory input the inborn receives, the more easily he will learn new skills and store information in his brain develops connection. From lifting his head to laughing, there are some common developmental milestones that a newborn will achieve. There are general guidelines as to when these milestones will occur, but normal pattern of development differ from one child to the next and they can vary widely. It becomes a significant concern if a child consistently reaches these developmental milestones later than is expected or misses them altogether. Thanks for watching the video.